UW Green Bay Career Planning and Professional Connections would like to welcome you to an introduction to the NACE competencies.
Have you ever wondered what makes someone career ready? The National Association of Colleges and Employers, otherwise known as NACE, comprised of employers and higher education institutions, established 8 competencies to ensure that an individual would be career ready. The presentation will focus on those core competencies as well as include some examples of how an individual may demonstrate the competency.
Who is NACE, and should NACE be the association establishing these guidelines? Established in 1956 as a professional organization, NACE is the leading source of information on the employment of the college-educated and forecasts hiring and trends in the job market. These include things such as tracking starting salaries, recruiting and hiring practices, and student attitudes and outcomes. NACE also identifies best practices and benchmarks for professionals in higher education as well as employers seeking individuals to fill open roles.
The 8 career competencies were established to determine the skills necessary to make an individual career ready. Career readiness is a foundation to demonstrate the requisite core competencies that broadly prepare the college-educated for success in the workplace and lifelong career management. For employers, career readiness plays a vital role in sourcing talent, providing means of identifying critical skills and abilities across all job functions. After review, the 8 competencies that were established include career and self-development, communication, critical thinking, equity and inclusion, leadership, professionalism, teamwork, technology. Each of these competencies can be demonstrated in a variety of ways and are not just established while in college.
The 8 competencies that are established today have more recently gone under review. In 2015, NACE launched the project to address a fundamental need for new college graduates and the professionals who service their career development needs, and recruit from them into the workforce. The goal was to develop a shared understanding of what is needed to launch and develop a successful career. These needs, along with expectations, required the development of a basic set of competencies.
Then in 2017, the initial task force comprised of career services and university relations individuals along with individuals from employers' recruiting teams developed the career readiness definition and associated competencies. The task force also started to look to identify behaviors that could be associated with the competencies to provide guidance to individuals on how the competencies could be met. In 2020, the competencies were reviewed and revised as needed. Drafts for revisions were made, which led to the establishment of the 8 competencies recognized today. Take a minute or two and think about your past experiences in a workplace. Did you have the opportunity to develop these career competencies? If so, what key experiences or training helped you to grow in these areas?
The career and self-development competency has been defined as proactively developing oneself and one's career through continual personal and professional learning, awareness of one's strengths and weaknesses, navigation of career opportunities, and networking to build relationships within and outside one's organization. Some examples of behaviors to meet this competency would be assuming duties or positions that will help one progress professionally or seeking out opportunities to learn. Examples of things you can do to focus on career and self-development include completing an assessment to explore college programs and careers that align with your interests, values, skills, and personality. Now that you have learned more about the career and self-development competency, I want you to pause the video to take 2 to 3 minutes to brainstorm ways you'd like to focus on your own career and self-development.
The next competency is communication. The communication competency is defined as clearly and effectively exchanging information, ideas, facts, and perspectives with persons inside and outside of an organization. Examples of behaviors include using active listening or promptly informing others when needing guidance with an assigned task. To focus on improving your communication skills, you could develop a goal to take a class focused on public speaking or participate in a practice interview. Now that you have learned more about the communication competency, I want you to pause the video to take 2 to 3 minutes to brainstorm positives and areas of improvement of your own communication skills.
The next competency established is critical thinking. This competency identifies and responds to needs based upon an understanding of situational context and logical analysis of relevant information. Behavior examples of critical thinking could be displayed as making decisions and solving problems using sound, inclusive reasoning and judgment, or proactively anticipating needs and prioritizing action steps. Individuals can focus on actively engaging in class discussions, writing a research paper, or debating a topic with another classmate to understand other perspectives. Prior to the 2020 establishment of this set of 8 competencies, creative thinking and problem solving were established as a competency. Just because these are not in this section of competencies, does not mean that these are not important. One could argue that creative thinking and problem solving are grouped under critical thinking. As an individual who is working on establishing their career readiness skill, creative thinking and problem solving should be at the forefront of the skills needing to be developed. Now that you have learned more about the critical thinking competency, I want you to pause the video and take 2 to 3 minutes to brainstorm positives and areas of improvement of your own critical thinking development. What could you do to expand your skills?
Equity and inclusion are defined as the demonstration of the awareness, attitude, knowledge and skills required to equitably engage and include people from different local and global cultures. There is also an engagement in anti-racist practices that actively challenge systems, structures, and policies of racism. Behaviors of equity and inclusion are advocacy for inclusion, equitable practices, justice and empowerment for historically marginalized communities, or keeping an open mind to diverse ideas and new ways of thinking. Individuals can expand their knowledge by attending multicultural events, community workshops, or working with classmates who are different than them. Now that you have learned more about the equity and inclusion competency, I want you to pause the video and take 2 to 3 minutes to brainstorm positives and areas of improvement of your own equity and inclusion development.
Example behaviors of the next competency could be seen as using innovative thinking to go beyond traditional methods, or motivating and inspiring others by encouraging them and by building mutual trust. The leadership competency is defined as the recognition and capitalization on personal and team strengths to achieve organizational goals. Individuals can choose to lead a class project, or volunteer in their community by leading an event. Now that you have learned more about the leadership competency, I want you to take 2 to 3 minutes to brainstorm positives and areas of improvement of your own leadership development. The teamwork competency is defined as building and maintaining collaborative relationships to work effectively toward common goals, while appreciating diverse viewpoints and shared responsibilities. Examples of behaviors of this competency would be exercising the ability to compromise, and be agile or effectively managing conflict, interacting with and respecting diverse personalities, and meeting uncertainty with resilience. Individuals can work to improve their teamwork skills by being thoughtful of their role as a group member for a team project, or working in a part-time job. Now that you have learned more about the teamwork competency, I want you to take 2 to 3 minutes to brainstorm positives and areas of improvement of your own teamwork development. The final competency has been defined as technology, which is the understanding and leverage of technology ethically to enhance efficiencies, complete tasks, and accomplish goals. Behaviors of this competency could be using technology to improve efficiency and productivity of their work, or navigating change and being open to learning new technologies. There are some certifications individuals can complete to demonstrate their understanding of commonly used platforms. Now that you have learned more about the technology competency, I want you to take 2 to 3 minutes to brainstorm positives and areas of improvement of your own resiliency when it comes to technology development.
Now that we have reviewed all 8 competencies, take a moment to reflect on each competency. When identifying the positive skills you have built for each competency as well as the areas of improvement, did you notice any competencies lacking development? Did you notice any that were strongly developed? Pause the video and take a minute or two to develop 2 to 3 action steps of how you will work to develop the areas that were not as strong.
We appreciate the time you have taken to learn and reflect on these 8 NACE competencies. We encourage you to not only think and use these competencies in this course, but throughout your entire journey here at UW Green Bay. As you continue through your coursework, reflect and enhance these competencies.